Wake up, my queens. You are the beautiful. You are the beautiful black queen. You are the beautiful. You are the beautiful black queen.
Hi, Cousin Daryl.
The essence of life, the mother of nations, nurturer of great generation. Hi, I am Empress Shar'on, bringing the truth of our stolen history. The mothership has landed. She is your modern-day Noah's Ark, bringing knowledge and understanding of your lost past. Get ready for enlightenment with eyes can see.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again to another edition of Eyes Can See, y'all. You know, with your host, the Mother to Israel, here to explain what is really going on with our people group, y'all. You know, what's happened to us. You know, where we go from here, you all, because there is a next with us. And, you know, I like to bless this message with a prayer so that, you know, it can go into the ears of the hearer and that it can be blessed. So thank you, Father, for this platform, that it may go into the message that I'm speaking may go into the ears of the hearer, that they may spread this message far and wide to the four corners of the earth, that we may know whose we are and who we are by our identity being stripped from us in 1619. In the mighty name of Yahuwah. Thank you, Father, in Yahushua. Amen. Okay, so that was in Jesus' name, Yahushua. Okay? So, Isaiah 61, 1 through 3. The Spirit of the Lord, Yahuwah, which is God, is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, to the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our Yahuwah, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And you guys know that we are those trees planted in the four corners of the earth, you all. You know, and today's message is going to be Jim Crow laws, y'all. Okay, and I got this from history.com, you guys. So if you want to go there and research more, you know, for this younger group that's, you know, coming up, you know, behind us, you know, that wasn't here during the time of the 70s, you know, when well, even in the 50s and 60s, when Jim Crow laws were, you know, in full swing, where, you know, basically in the 50s, how they had double everything, you know, where they had separate water fountains. You couldn't go drink at the white folks' fountain, y'all. You know, if you got caught then, you got in trouble, and you know, could be arrested. You could be beaten, you know, and arrested for drinking out of their water fountains. You know, going to the bathroom. You could not go to the bathroom, y'all, you know, in their bathroom, okay? They didn't allow that back then. And even with restaurants, you know, you had to go through the back door, y'all. You can't go through the front door. So this is basically and mainly for our youth, you know, who don't know the history of these things and don't know these laws that still apply to today. You know, this is a double standard system, and you have to know how this got to be a double standard system, you all. You know, so follow me with these Jim Crow laws, y'all, and then get my book, Trees of Righteousness, y'all, the fulfillment of the curses of Deuteronomy 28, so that we can know what has happened to us as a people and what is yet to come, okay? So with Jim Crow laws, you know, there were a collection of state and local statutes that legalize uh, racial segregation, you all. Named after a black minstrel show character, The Laws, which existed for about 100 years from the post-Civil War era, everybody. Until 1968, were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote and to hold jobs and to get an education and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentence, violence, and death, just like I was explaining you all, And black codes came along with this, y'all. The roots of Jim Crow laws began as early as 1865. That was immediately following the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States. That was during the Reconstruction period, y'all. Okay, so for our younger generation, y'all go Google this information. You go find out what the Reconstruction period was all about, after slavery was abolished, you all, in the United States. Okay, because as I told you all, America was chosen for for the land that our punishment would go down in for being covenant breakers, y'all. And I really want to emphasize what Kanye West is talking about, saying that slavery was a choice. No, it wasn't actually a choice, but it was what, our ancestors chose for us, y'all. They chose this for us. We didn't choose it for ourselves. And 400 years was the period of punishment, y'all, for Yahweh's day of vengeance. So we must, rectify that and get an understanding, y'all, why it had to last for 400 years and what we, didn't have the power to do anything about. Because Yahweh sent a sword after us, y'all. So come on. Let's understand this thing. Let's make sense of this, y'all. So those codes appeared, the black codes were strict local and state laws that detailed when, where, and how formerly enslaved people could work and for how much compensation. The codes appeared throughout the South as a legal way to put black citizens into indentured servitude, everybody. To take voting rights away, to control where they live and how they travel, and to seize children for labor purposes, you all. So then they say that black people are lazy. We can see who lazy, y'all, okay? Because they got free labor, pretty much, the little wages that they paid was basically free labor, even after slavery, y'all. So we can now see how they got their unfair advantages, you all. And they sent their children to college and set all the laws to favor their people, as well as the purchase of housing, you all. And how, everything was set up for them, okay? So we can understand the generational wealth gap because it was designed that way, okay? So let's break this understanding down, y'all, and make it make sense. So the legal system was stacked against the black citizens with former Confederate soldiers working as the police and judges, making it difficult for African Americans to win court cases and ensuring they were subject to the black codes, y'all. These codes worked in conjunction with labor camps for the incarcerated, where prisoners were treated as enslaved people. Black offenders typically received longer sentences than their white equals. And because of the grueling work, often did not live out their entire sentences, you all. So Jim Crow laws expand. At the state of the 1880s, big cities in the South were not wholly beholden to Jim Crow laws, and black Americans found more freedoms in them, okay? So this led to substantial black populations moving to the cities, and as the decade progressed, white city dwellers demanded more laws to limit opportunities for African Americans because the larger black cities said that, blacks were taking all the jobs, y'all. So that's why we had so many race riots, you all, okay? So Jim Crow laws soon spread around the country with even more force than previously. Public parks were forbidden for African Americans to enter, and theaters and restaurants were segregated, everybody, okay? Segregated waiting rooms and bus stations and train stations were required, as well as water fountains and restrooms, building entrances, elevators, cemeteries, even amusement park cashier windows. Y'all, last week I did about the cemeteries being segregated. Now, come on, y'all. In death, really, y'all? Okay. I mean, how is being buried in a cemetery is going to do anything to that cemetery? That's crazy, y'all. Even in death, these people still say segregation. So they think that heaven is going to be segregated too, I guess. They getting that mixed up with hell, y'all. Okay? With hell, we don't care what go on down there because we're not going to be there, y'all. Because the scriptures say, and all of Israel shall be saved, y'all. Okay? So there's a reason for these scriptures, you all. Because our people were sent into a punishment. We didn't know what this was all about because we were so far removed from being covenant breakers until we didn't understand what was happening to us and why it was happening, you all. And what these, what was slavery all about and why they applied to us the way that they did. And also, you all, why, it still affects us now. We, because we're splintered as a people group. We're not all on the same page, so we don't understand these things. But I'm a teacher here to explain and make us know, what's really going on with this thing and how we are the people of the Bible, y'all. This is our story, look at all the people groups in the world. And then you tell me who matches up to that story the best. Who's had, the prerequisites fulfilled. And then we can say who the children of Israel, the 12 tribes are, you all. Okay? According to what the Bible tells us about the 12 tribes. So, the law forbade African Americans from living in white neighborhoods. Segregation was enforced for public pools, phone booths, hospitals, asylums, jails, and residential homes for the elderly and the handicapped, y'all. Okay? This thing went far and wide. So some states required separate textbooks for white and black students, y'all. What? Textbooks? Really? Okay, so anyway, New Orleans mandated the segregation of prostitutes according to race. But I bet you they always came to our communities and got that black skin too, huh? Okay, because even in slavery, they didn't want us drinking out the same water fountain. But yet and still, you will come into my ancestors' bed and give her your seed to produce more children? Come on. How much closer can you get than swapping semen, y'all? Then you don't want us drinking out of your water fountains. Are you kidding me? And then when it comes to, them and our what am I trying to say? When it comes to them taking our what I'm trying to say when when they need a kidney, okay, you know what I'm trying to say. When they need a body part, okay, something within a heart, a kidney, something like that. Who do they go to, y'all? They want that black person's, kidney or inner body part. You know? So this is all Satan's plan, y'all. He want to say separate. It's got to be a separation here. But when it comes to, keeping their lives full and whole, especially healthy, then they chase us for our body. They kill us for our body parts, y'all. That's the hottest thing going on the market right now. You give up a kidney, you sell a kidney, you sell a body part, an inner body part, because they know that we are supreme beings, y'all. We have that God key. We have that melanin, y'all. It's something with this melanin, y'all. It's something about this melanin with us that sets us apart, far and wide from the rest of everybody else in the world, y'all. But yet and still, they don't want us drinking out their water fountains or using their bathrooms or, eating in the same place as they eat in their restaurants. Come on, y'all. So we can see that this has to be Satan. Only Satan does this thing. And you have to know that Satan is after us because we're the chosen seed. We're the first family of the earth, y'all. He's not really after everybody else like he's after us. That's why Revelations 12 is about us and our people, y'all. It's about us, y'all. It ain't about the church. It is not about the church. The church is not getting killed by the police, y'all. And then when the police are on trial, they only get a slap on the wrist, you all. They don't get the same amount of time that a black person would get for killing somebody white. Look at the black police who have killed, a white citizen. And see how much time they get according to the time that the white policeman gets for killing somebody black, y'all. So come on, y'all. So this is all Satan's plan. He's terrified, that that we're gonna make it in, so he's doing everything he can to keep us out of Yahweh's promises. But he can't do that. He cannot do that.
Amen.
And God bless you. He can't do that. Yahuwah blesses you.
Thank you.
So anyway, some states require, I said separate textbooks. So anyway, this is Satan's way of doing things, his mindset of operating through his people. He chose these people, y'all, for Gentile rule. And you can find who the Gentiles are in Genesis 10, 1 through 5, you all. So I said we are the people of the Bible. This is our story, y'all. It only makes sense for us. So it was not uncommon to see signs posted at towns and city limits warning African Americans that they were not welcome there. And that's why you still have sundown towns that still exist. You have sundown towns where you better not be in that city, after sundown. Because you lie to come up dead, y'all. They still exist. And Mississippi was one of those states that was known for, such a thing as that. So not all of Mississippi, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of them towns, all throughout the United States. Y'all, not just in the deep south of Mississippi, y'all. So let me tell y'all about these Ku Klux Kitties, y'all. The KKK, little known youth movement. During the 1920s, hatred was a family affair. Everybody, okay? And this report was by Aaron Blakemore. And it was updated June 26, 2019. Okay, they originally printed it January 8, 2019, y'all, on history.com. All right? So racism is not inherited. It is something that's taught, y'all. No one is born a racist. You must learn to hate. It is an unnatural thing to hate someone that you do not know. How are you just going to up and just hate somebody, and you don't even know these people. They haven't even given you a reason to hate. So you must study that person and choose things about them that you do not like. You must develop your own prejudice about them in order to hate them. This type of thing is not in your DNA to just hate someone without having a reason to. It is something taught, y'all, not something that's that's inherited in our DNA. Okay? So in 1924, a group of 10 children and hundreds of spectators, everybody, gathered for a mass baptism. There was no mere religious rites. As the children and their parents moved toward the clergyman, they were enveloped by 50 men in white robes. They were the children of the Ku Klux Klan, and their baptism included more than a promise to Yahweh. Y'all. They must mean their God, Satan, okay? Because I told you Satan fell. He was kicked out of heaven, and he fell to the earth, and he became the God, the little God of this earth, y'all. So that's their God, y'all, with all this hate mongering. Okay, because our Yahuwah, he don't have anything to do with hate, y'all. Okay, so along with, let me put it like this. He don't have anything to do with Satan's way of doing things, which is to hate the black man, y'all. When the black man is who he chose out of all the families of the earth. We didn't choose ourselves. He chose us, you all. So let's understand that. So along with their vows to raise religious children, their parents dedicated their children to the principles and ideas of Americanism, of Gentile rule, y'all, which I already said was Satan's plan for, the world. So to an outsider, that promise might sound like a patriotic one. But to the KKK, it meant dedicating the children to a lifelong upholding segregation, bigotry, and the violent suppression to anyone who was not a white Protestant. Okay? So the children who were Christian that day were just a few of the thousand who participated in the KKK and its auxiliary organizations, the Junior Ku Klux Klan for teenage boys, the Tri-K Club for teenage girls, the Ku Klux Kitties, and Cradle Clubs for children and infants beginning in 1920. This thing goes deep, y'all. But what do a baby know about hatred? Unless it is taught, a baby knows nothing about hatred, okay? A baby is innocent, pure, until it is taught these evil ways. So as the invisible empire of the KKK, I'm going to tell you like this. That baby sucked our ancestors' mom's breasts. So what do a baby know about racism, about hating black people? They didn't hate us so much as to our ancestors taking care of their babies and raising their babies while their own children suffered. They couldn't get the milk from the breast when they had the milk, give the milk to the white children, the white babies. Come on, y'all. Let's look at this thing. Let's look and see how Satan set this thing up, y'all. He's a liar. From the beginning, he was a liar. And he's under our feet. In the mighty name of Yahushua, y'all. So, as the invisible empire of the KKK reached its pinnacle of national influence and membership during that era, children took part in the social rituals. And the entire family dedicated themselves to promoting and sustaining the group's white supremacy ideology. In contrast to its original formation as a Southern terrorist organization, during years of Reconstruction, the KKK of the 20th century invited and encouraged the involvement of women and children as part of this attempt to create a core of true believers who would ensure the supposed purity of the white race. Now, come on, y'all. Why do they think that their race would be diluted? They were the ones, these slave owners going around sleeping with our ancestors, to produce more children, So they are the ones who started this. So they went to extreme measures to ensure the impurity, to ensure the purity of their race, which actually worked against them, y'all. See how Yahuwah, put his hand in a thing, He gonna mix that thing up. What they meant to destroy us or to hurt us, to come against us, Yeshua uses it for our good, y'all. So their own men are the ones who married outside of their race, just as their women do. When their women used to say, "Oh, he looked at me. He winked at me. He whistled at me," which got Emmett Till killed, y'all. A lie, a vicious lie from this white woman who still has not been prosecuted until this day. And she's still living, y'all. Okay? So, for our black men to go and, deal with those white women, y'all, they used to tell lies on our black men and start kick off a race riot. That's what they used to kick off a race riot back in the day. That white woman against the black man. So y'all need to know about these things and how all this thing came into being, you all. So it seems that they shot themselves in the foot with this vile mindset, with this vile behavior that they use, y'all. So after the release of the film Birth of a Nation in 1915, the Ku Klux Klan movement was revived and grew to encompass 3 to 8 million Klansmen by the mid-1920s, everybody. Members want to keep American society pure and free of the supposed taint of anyone who is not white and Protestant. But remember, they started this. As I said, they slept with our ancestors, y'all. It wasn't the other way around, y'all. And they believed the best way to achieve that goal was to involve the entire family. Have that behavior to, sink in at such a young age where they can grow up with this evil, way of thinking. So as we see, this did not work. You can see Satan at work here. Only he would inspire a group of people to act like this. And the main thing that's going on right now today is that Satan has tricked the people into believing he don't even exist, y'all. To make the people think, oh, it's only your low mentality, it's only your low way of thinking. You're thinking in a low vibration. It don't have nothing to do with that, y'all. It is powers in this earth, y'all. It is spiritual powers in this earth that is at work, everybody. So you got to understand this. Just like we have a spiritual component to us that releases from our body, when we die, then you must know that, this spiritual component, there's rulers. It's either Yahweh and Yahushua, and then there's Satan, y'all, who failed. He failed, y'all. And he's affecting this world we're living in. This is his time to rule, to take everybody with him that don't have a relationship with Yahuwah through his son Yahushua, y'all. And even though this story came from, the walls of the pyramid, y'all, it's still a true story in the Bible. Everybody try to put Yahweh in a box. To say, oh no, he didn't invent this story. This story came from the Egyptians. Oh no. Y'all, don't put him in a box, y'all. Because he would use whatever. Come on, y'all. Let's stop putting him in a box. And understand This thing is a ploy from Satan, because it's his time to be God in this world. And it's his time to try to distract us and to get us away from being a part of Yahuwah and Yahushua's plan for our lives, y'all. So we must understand what's going on. Okay? So, like I said, as we can see, the women played an important role in the KKK, which formed around the mission of protecting white women from sexual relationships and contact with black men, Catholics and Jews. So let me tell y'all about these Catholics, y'all. As I wrote my book, Trees of Righteousness, you all, let me find a picture of what the Catholics came from, y'all. Okay, these pictures that I showed you guys, these pictures that I showed you all, from my book, came from the Eastern Orthodox icons, everyone. Okay, so this came from the Catholics, y'all. And then some of the black kings, y'all, they were the Catholic, they were Catholic, y'all. See, all of these pictures come from the Eastern Orthodox, who kept the pictures black, y'all, in their natural form. Now they did lighten some of the pictures, or even, what we call whites and eyes. They did, okay? So you must know we had black kings who, came from the Eastern Orthodox, Catholicism. Back in the day, we ran the joint, y'all. We ran things before it flipped over into what we now see it to be, Gentile rule, which is Genesis 10, 1 through 5, everybody. So just know what this is, you all. I'm going to show you all one more picture, because this is definitely one of, the Eastern Orthodox. See, Catholicism, y'all. This was Catholicism back in the day. So that's why they talk about Catholics. So when they talk about Catholics, this is what they're talking about, y'all. Okay? So let's get that understood, everyone. All right. Get my book, and then you can get all these pictures. And in fact, I'm coming out with a new picture book, you all, that shows our kings with their castles and their coats of arms, and how all of this thing, failed, how we all failed, and how it came into being what we see now. So anyway, Elizabeth Tyler and Edward Young Clark, PR professionals who took over the day-to-day operation of the KKK in the early 1920s, saw the potential of Klansmen's wives. The pair soon realized that women who could newly vote not only yielded political power, but could give much needed cash to the organization, y'all. It's always all about money, y'all. Notes historian Michael Newton. Women's groups soon sprang up all over the country. And in 1923, the women of the Ku Klux Klan was created as an umbrella group, gaining 250,000 members within months. So as we see around election time, the white vote is always spoken of as with the white women, y'all. Okay? Much to do is made, is always made about their vote. They are the priority vote, y'all. They act as though the black vote do not carry as much power. But when they saw how we put President Barack Obama in office, and then Joe Biden, then they really started to use black men and women to run for office. They started using us against each other to split the vote, or to make it seem like, hey, we on y'all team, black folks. Come on, y'all. But you gotta know they're puppets. You know, so they're not doing anything to put the laws in our favor. These laws, they're putting these people in place so that they can always, make it where the laws go in their favor, because this is a time of Gentile rule, y'all. This is a time of Gentile rule. So we must understand and know that, this is their thing, We living in their world right now. But it's about to soon come to an end. Yeah. Yes. Because our 400 years is up, y'all. So, and we got next. Woo-hoo! We got next, y'all. So as we see, they are repealing laws such as abortion rights. They have gay marriages on the table as well. They want to take away all those rights that, have been voted on and have come into existence. Next, it would be that they always have stood for was to make interracial marriage a crime, So that's going to be next on the table. Everybody that's married interracially, yeah, it's going to be a crime to be married, y'all, if they have it their way. And also, as well as interracial dating, y'all. So look to that, to be something that's coming, in the near future, very near future, because Satan's time is short, y'all, and we in his realm now, Okay, so the children, eventually they will roll back the laws and the rules to Jim Crow era and Satan, which are Satan's laws, y'all. The children were next, sensing even more economic potential and the opportunity to spread this message of white supremacy to a new generation. The Klan opened its doors to young members through 3 auxiliary groups. The first was for the boys only. Beginning in 1923, the Junior Ku Klux Klan served as a miniature Ku Klux Klan, y'all, with its own secret rituals and hateful messages. In Lycan, Pennsylvania, for example, a new Junior Ku Klux Klan group announced its presence by blowing a horn and lighting a J on fire next to a burning cross in 1924. The Junior Ku Klux Klan was so popular that, writes historian William F. Pennor, it was active in 15 states, y'all. So girls had their own opportunity to participate in the Klan too, as members of the Tri-K Club. The club modeled itself on the women's organization, and members learned a pledge song whose first verse included the words, "Beneath this flag that waves above, the cross that lights our way, you'll always find a sister's love in the heart of each Tri-K." So members learned about motherhood and traditional gender roles, assisted their mothers in promoting and catering to the main organization, and appears in parades, sometimes as Miss 100% America, American. A reference to the KKK's goal of keeping the white race 100% pure, y'all. Indeed, some had been dedicated to the group from birth. Mass baptisms were a Klan's ritual and was the cradle roll, as was the cradle roll. A group of children whose parents intended to raise them toward participation in the group as they grew. So in many ways, life as a child of the Klan followed the social norms of middle white society of the time. Children marched in parades, went to picnics and summer camps, and recited the Pledge of Allegiance. But the context in which they played and celebrated was sinister, overtly committed to white supremacy, and underlined by the Klan's violent attempts to bend society to its racist ideas. So remember, y'all, while they get upset to see, a black man taking a knee, on a football field. They believe that he does not respect the American flag and he do not have rights to protest the injustices against his people. So we are black people and we do not have rights to speak out against the injustices they do to our people group is their mindset. So this is why we get this type of pushback, everybody. Y'all. So those threats lurk just beneath the surface, as in a 1929 advertisement for the Ku Coast Camp in Rockport, Texas. The brochure promised a real family recreation under high-class moral conditions for Klans members. Those conditions, of course, were predicted as an absence of people whose very existence threatened the KKK's principles and by extension, the purity of its women. But they started this, y'all. Ha! Okay, so the Fiery Cross guards you at night, and an officer of the law with the same Christian sentiment guards carefully all portals. The advertisement proclaimed. So you see, they have their people in all the high places, y'all. That's why, I'm gonna give you all, Ephesians 6:10-13, that tells you who we fighting, y'all. This is a spiritual battle we fighting, y'all. This is Satan, a spiritual force that we're fighting within these people. And they operate in some of our own people, y'all. Okay? So, what was a wholesome summer camp to a child of a KKK was to their parent a place devoid of undesirable people and guarded by a sympathetic law enforcement official who the ad telegraphed was a KKK member too, y'all. So we see why these police officers, kneel on the neck of our people and kill our people without a cause, y'all. We see why. So as I told you in my last broadcast, the evangelical church are the descendants of this behavior, y'all. These ancestors were the colonizers and slave masters. They were also the overseers. This mentality is still in some of these Southern Baptist churches of today. Remember I told you all last week that at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning is the most segregated time in America, y'all, that still exists in some places in America. So nor did chances to participate in a white supremacist life end at summer camp. For a short time in the 1920s, it seemed as if students might be able to attend Klan colleges in both Indiana and Georgia. Neither ever admitted students, so they say. Everything is undercover. It's this invisible force that's going on behind the scenes, y'all. They throw a rock and hide their hand, okay? Which is what I liked about Donald Trump. He didn't throw a rock and hide his hand. So anyway, they were KKK rituals. There were KKK charitable giving events at which robbed Klansmen invaded churches with donations. And after death, they were Klan funerals, which featured flower arrangements that formed the letter KKK. For devoted white supremacists, bigotry could be fostered from cradle to grave, y'all. Ooh. Again, this is a satanic psychic of Gentile rule. Luke 21:24. Okay? That's where we get Gentile rule from. What system we're living in, you all. And we are living in Satan's kingdom. He has chosen the Caucasian race to rule through. This is why their attitude is like it is. Okay? So I'm not making up anything. That's why I'm telling you all where to find this in scripture, you all. So y'all can know you know, what this is that we're living in, you know, why it's like this, y'all. This is a part of a punishment because our people are covenant breakers. That's what our ancestors made us, and we have to get that buff whipping. That's why we're living out our lives like we are, everybody. So the KKK's second resurgence eventually faded. The victim of the Great Depression, several scandals, and the increasing irrelevance of fraternal organizations in a time of mass media, social scrutiny, and suburbanization, though the KKK whole family image has long since faded. I think it just went under wraps, y'all. It didn't fade. Children still hold an appeal for white nationalist groups looking to recruit a new generation. Yep. So the KKK actually flipped into the white nationalists, y'all. And then now they go by different names. So do the mothers. As sociologist Kathleen Blee notes, women and mothers have played significant roles in almost every race hate movement of the modern age. And with mothers come children who are easy targets for groups founded on hate bias and a belief that they can mold the world into one defined by white supremacy. So today, those mothers are known as Karens, y'all. White supremacists racial hatred has not gone anywhere. It only has hid undercover until it was safe to come out. And as I mentioned earlier, Donald Trump allowed them to take their hoods off, y'all, to show who they are. So we see, you know, those police and those judges, you know, who have an affinity for these groups. You know, we saw them doing George Floyd's protest and then Kyle Rittenhouse trial, y'all, you know. So we know they still exist. We know that they're still out there, y'all. Okay? So like the article states, it is an invisible movement in all the places of authority. That is why the scriptures tell us, I was saying Ephesians 6:10-13, to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, to put on the whole armor of God, which is Yahuwah, that ye might be able to stand the wiles of the devil, y'all, Satan. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This is how he set up his regime in the earth, y'all. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yahuwah, that ye might be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Okay? So that's how we fight spiritual wickedness, you all. You know? Because these are the levels that this thing goes to. That's why you have these judges. That's why you have, you know, these police. That's why you have this prison system. That is the modern day slavery, you all. That's why these things still exist in the forms that they do. Things just evolve, y'all. It didn't go away. It just evolved into something different, y'all. But with the same premise, you know, the same groundwork. Okay? So as long as this system exists, we will be under Gentile rule. And the church is not getting killed in this time. So, you know, Revelations 12, and I believe that 17 is not talking about the church. It's talking about Black Americans who are the Semitic people. Just as Kanye said, y'all. Okay? I don't agree with everything Kanye says. Well, with Ye, because he changed his name from Kanye to Ye. I don't agree with everything Ye says. But I do agree when he says that we are the Hebrew people, y'all. We them same people that was painted on the walls of the pyramids, y'all. We was black then and we black now. Y'all? So, this is why white lives always have mattered. This is their kingdom through Satan's rulership in these end times, and they are the ones who make the laws that we have to live by in this double standard system, y'all. So let's help make this make sense, everybody. So allow me to leave you with this. These Caucasians who accepted us into America to be an enslaved people do not understand that they're acting out on Satan's plan he had for our people group, y'all. Because he hated us, because he knew that Yahweh chose us. You know, as I said, we didn't choose him. Yahweh chose us to be his first family in the earth. So it was God, Yahuwah's way of punishing his children for being covenant breakers during a time period called his day of vengeance that we're now living in, y'all. So remember the story of Job 1, chapter 1, 6 through 12, and Job chapter 2, 1 through 7. Write these scriptures down so y'all go study them so y'all can understand. Put this story together. Make it make sense, y'all. Because although Job was a good man, Yahuwah still used his story as an allegory to show how he would chastise and discipline his children who broke the covenant, y'all. Because Yahuwah said, if they sin, you know, they committed certain sin, set them outside the camp so that Satan can have use of them. You know, so when they come back in the camp, you know, they will lose their behavior, y'all. Okay? So that's what he did. He set us outside the camp, y'all. That's why we're exiled, you know, from our land. And then he sent a sword behind us, after us, y'all. That's why we're dying the way that we're dying, you know, through the police and then through other, you know, Gentiles killing our people, you know, like Trayvon Martin, you know, come on, y'all, like Ahmaud Arbery, come on, y'all. So if you look at all the people group of the earth, look and see who the Bible story fits about Yahweh's 12 tribes of Israel. He sent the northern 10 tribe into America as early as 721 BC as the indigenous black Indians, y'all. And then in 1619, he scattered Judah throughout the four corners of the earth, y'all. So they were the ones to be affected with being enslaved, in bondage, and even in captivity in these end times, along with the northern 10 tribes, as I said, who are the indigenous black Indians. Everything white now. Even the Indians are white, y'all. Everybody white. Okay? And we don't understand this. Why is everybody white? No, my ancestors is a black Indian, indigenous Indian. I know we got Choctaw and Cherokee, you know, Chickasaw Indians in our bloodline. And then, you know, on the other side of my family, we have Blackfoot Indian. Come on, I know it's Indians that you know are in our family, but then also I know that, you know, my ancestors are also of the transatlantic slave trade, y'all. That makes me Judah, and I claim Judah. You know, I claim the tribe of praise, y'all, because I got some praise up in me, y'all. Okay. So you got to know who you are. You got to know how these things apply to us, y'all. You got to know that the Bible is our story, y'all. It was our way of life that was made into religion. And we know that religion kills. The cross was given, y'all. And religiosity was assigned to it through Satan, y'all. So come on, let's make it make sense. So anyway, he made it where he would have to release us from the punishment that he sent us into at an appropriate time, y'all. So our 400 years are up, y'all. Okay? So it's soon time to redeem us and restore us from this fall. We're in a fallen position. He made us the tail of all people of the earth for a certain time period that he designated, which is the 400 years. That started in 1619 and ended in 2019. So now that time period has been completed, big things are about to happen to us, y'all, to fulfill the 12 tribes going back to their own homeland. Or rather, a place of Goshen to be protected as the world go through the tribulation period, y'all. So, I want y'all to know who y'all are, whose you are, so that you can make all of this, put this whole story together and know how we fell into this, y'all. To know why, Jim Crow laws still affect us to this day. To know why this double standard system is over our heads and will be over our heads until Yahweh calls up out of this, y'all. And that's soon to come, because Isaiah 60:5 tells us we're going to get more than reparations, y'all. Just like our ancestors did in the 430 year, which ended in captivity when they left Egypt the first time, y'all. So that they can go into a land that Yahweh chose for our people as an inheritance, y'all. Then you should know that they stripped the people back then. They stripped them of silver and gold. Same thing gonna happen again, y'all. We gonna strip them again. The nation's gonna just give it to us because the scriptures says so. We don't have to fight for nothing that's already ours. It's what Yahweh gave to us, and he expects us to bring it back home, y'all. So we ain't got to worry about reparations. They gonna give it back to us anyway. And then Isaiah 61, Isaiah 60:8 through 9 tells us how we're getting back home. Through airplanes and ships. He already got ships set aside for us, the ships of Tarshish. Which means, huge ships that can transport people, y'all. Okay? And then we're not coming in the bellies of slave ships like our ancestors did over the waters of affliction. No, we're going back, y'all. We're going to be celebrating going back home. Okay? It's going to be on the cruise ship this time. Not the waters of affliction this time. Okay? And just like those airplanes, it says, who is this that flies like doves in the clouds to their dove coat? What is a dove coat, y'all? A birdhouse with a little hole that the bird flies in and out of, y'all. Put a row of those together. That's the side of an airplane, y'all. So Yahweh was talking about airplanes way back in the day, y'all. Okay? Make it make sense. Know that we about to get up out of here, y'all. It's almost time for us to leave, okay? And we're going to a place of Goshen. When we go back to our homeland, we're going for judgment. But judgment is not like what you've been taught, okay? So judgment is he's going to wash away our sins, all our filthiness from us, and give us a new heart and a new spirit, and our crown of life, all the diamond and the stones that we have accumulated through our sufferings, y'all. You can't imagine how many stones you're going to have in your crown, y'all. He said, and all of Israel will be saved. So hold on to those words and know who you are, y'all. Because time is coming, y'all. So I'm going to leave you with this message that we may all stay awoke, and why Black lives do not matter in the United States of America. But put on your spiritual warfare weapons, y'all, and take your spiritual sword, because this is a spiritual war. So until next week, this is your host, the mother to Israel, Empress Ima Shar'on Yisrael. Enjoy the Sabbath, and may Yahuwah bless you and your family real good. So, shalom and many, many blessings, everybody. Love you all.
We are a village. Stay connected to the mothership right here on truthradio.net.